Hi team, I hope you're all well. Welcome back to another video. This one, you'll have seen the thumbnail and the title, but this one is going to be a book shopping video. I have already done the book shopping at this point. I'm having to redo the intro because my intention was to just add a little bit of b-roll into a weekly vlog and show the handful of books that I picked up, because I was only going with the aim of picking up 2 books, and then several things happened. So I went to Wigan Waterstones, I picked up a handful of books that I wanted, I put a handful back that I wanted but I was trying to be good, and I paid for the 2 books that I bought in Waterstones with my Waterstones card because I had some money on it. Then, by the time I got back to the car, Andy sent me some money and said, go back and get the other books that you wanted, but I was already at the car, so I wasn't going back. And then that evening, I ended up hitting 9,000 subscribers on YouTube, which has taken me a really long time to get to. I've been dancing for around the last 9 to 10 months, maybe even a year, at the 8,990 mark, like 10 away. I've been dancing around that number, up and down for the last year or so, and I finally hit 9k. It didn't last the evening, it went down again, but it came back up again. So my patrons suggested that I treat myself to 9 books for 9k. So I decided that the following day I was going to go to Warrington, to the Waterstones. I've never been to Warrington Waterstones before, and do some book shopping. I'd reserved a handful of books up there that I'd wanted to buy in Waterstones in Wigan but put back because I was trying to be good, and then Andy sent me the 20 quid. So I reserved the ones I wanted in the Waterstones Wigan, and then I went to Waterstones Wigan to go and get the books and to do some more book shopping. And then I went to IKEA because I was already in Warrington, so why not? So this is how that video has gone. Now, it seems weird that I'm filming this as an intro telling you that this bit has already happened, but there's no point in me like being like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go, you know, pretending that I'm about to do the book shopping. I'm not. I've done it. It's happened. I'm just filming this section now because this was just going to be b-roll within a vlog, and then it expanded because my patrons are bad influences. So I did go book shopping. I did buy 9 books for 9k. It was quite the nice treat, and I didn't do too bad actually as far as spending money is concerned. And I'll explain why in a minute. I'm going to give you some b-roll of me in Waterstones Wigan and then Waterstones in Warrington. I don't think I've got a lot, but I'm going to give it you anyway. And then I will come back to you and I will show you the books that I've got.
I don't want to let you down. It's the only thing I think about every morning. You know my life ain't figured out, but I promise if you stick around it'll never get boring. We'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. Will you stay even when you wanna walk away? When times get bad, we can learn to love what we have. I don't wanna let you down. You're the only one I want there at the end of my story. It's the only thing I figured out, 'cause everything else in my life without you would be boring. And we'll spend nights, cheap red wine, look at flats even though we can't afford them. I don't wanna let you down, I don't wanna lose you now. I don't wanna let you down.
Okay, I thought I could move over here for this bit, get it a little bit comfy, so I can tell you about the books. So, I have my Waterstones bag. I can't believe I was encouraged to do this. So, as I said, my first trip took me to Waterstones Wigan and also the Works in Wigan as well. And I did buy 3 books on that trip. So let me just get the ones that I actually bought out so I'm doing this in the right order. So that it makes sense. Because that's what it needs to do, is make sense. Because I am not most of the time. So I did pick up a handful of other books, put them back on the shelf because I was trying to be good. And then the 2 books that I bought from Waterstones were covered on my Waterstones card because I had 22 quid on there, I think. So they were covered by that, and I still had a few pounds left over on my card. Outstanding, fantastic news. Then I went to the Works and found a book in there that I'd had my eye on in Waterstones but put back on the shelf for much cheaper. Always a bonus. So the 2 books that I got from Waterstones Wigan were The Only Light Left Burning by Eric J. Brown, which is the sequel to All That's Left in the World. All That's Left in the World, yep. Which I've just read in the weekly vlog just gone. I'll leave a link to it up here. I've just read it and I was going with the aim of getting this book because I knew it had just come out. Now this one is a queer dystopian in which we are following Andrew and Jameson, who live in a world now where a virus has taken out the majority of the population. Andrew is out on his own in the wild and comes across Jameson's house after he's had his leg trapped in a bear trap. And eventually Jameson relents, lets him in and helps him out, and they become very close. And it is the story of friendship, of love, of finding love in the hardest of times, of survival, and it's just very well done and I really enjoyed myself. I gave it 4.5 stars, so naturally I need the sequel. I want to know what happens next. So I'm very excited to get to this one. Such a beautiful cover and it's exactly what I went in for, so shout out to me for that because that's good news. Always a bonus if I can do that. The other one that I was really interested in getting from Waterstones that I also managed to find, and it was on the queer shelf as well, which I was really excited about, was Gideon the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. So I used to have the Illumicrate edition of this and then unhauled it without having read it. Obviously this was a very long time ago because Illumicrate featured this a really long time ago. In fact, when it came out, which was 2019, which is 5 years ago. So I did have a copy. I unhauled it because this was very early on in my fantasy era and I didn't think it would be up my street. However, I've recently read Bonesmith by Nikki Palpretto and that was sold to me as Gideon the Ninth meets the White Walkers in Game of Thrones, and I fucking loved it. It was so good. So I decided I needed another copy of this, and to be honest I'm not too mad about it because it's one of the bigger, floppier, chunky, you know, paperbacks, so I'm really happy about that. So I ended up picking this up as well, which is Lesbian Necromancers. It's in space. It might be in space. I'm sure I've heard somebody say this is Lesbian Necromancers in space. Gideon the Ninth unveils a solar system of swordplay, cutthroat politics and lesbian necromancers. Her characters leap off the page as skillfully animated necromancer skeletons. As skillfully animated as necromantic skeletons. The result is a heart-pounding epic sci-fi fantasy. So yeah, I'm really excited about this one. I'm actually hoping to read this one in the current week that this video goes up. So I'm really excited about it. Very glad that I managed to pick this up. And again, a book I aimed to go in for and a book I walked out with. So I did really well. So those were the 2 books from Waterstones Wigan that I went in with the intention of getting and walked out with. And again, like I say, I picked up about, I think 3 more and ended up, no, 2 more and ended up putting them back on the shelf. So then I went to the Works in Wigan and had a quick look through there. I had a quick look at just the main shelf when you walk in on my way into Wigan. So before I went into Waterstones, didn't see anything I wanted or needed, and then went back in afterwards just to have another quick look because I forgot that there was a whole bunch of other shelves after the till. So I went in to have a look and they had 1 copy of this book left, and I was like, I've just had my eye on that in Waterstones, and it was £8.99 I think. Was it £8.99? Yeah, £8.99, and I got it for 3 quid. And it is Suddenly a Murder by Lauren Munoz. I don't know how you pronounce that, my apologies. And it's a YA, I think it's YA or new adult. Murder mystery, and I'm excited about it. It's to celebrate the end of high school. Izzy joins her best friends Cassidy and 5 others on a luxury 1920s themed getaway in the glamorous Ashwood Manor. There they party in vintage dresses and secrets are spilled and scandals unfold. It's all fun and games until Cassidy's boyfriend ends up dead. Sounds really interesting, and I'm always down for like a murder mystery like this, so it sounds really good and I'm looking forward to it, and I'm glad that I got it for £3.99 instead of the £8.99 it would have cost me in Waterstones, so what a bargain. So those were the 3 books from Wigan, and then obviously at that point my patrons encouraged me to get 9 books for 9k, and I was like, well, I bought 3, so I need to get 6 more. Andy had sent me 20 quid at this point and said, go back and get those other books that you saw in Waterstones, and I said, well, I'm already home now. So I went on Amazon to see, this was before my patron suggested the idea, went on Amazon to see if I could get them on there. Really bizarre situation. I don't know what's going on with my Amazon specifically. I'm not sure what's happening, but one of the books that I wanted, apparently it's out, obviously it's in Waterstones, but according to my Amazon, it doesn't come out until the middle of July. Really weird situation. It was so bizarre. I was like, okay, great, well, the book that I wanted that I picked up in Waterstones today isn't even out yet, so what am I supposed to do? And the other one as well was a few days out from coming out, and I was like, shit. So then my patrons suggested what they suggested, and we're like, why don't you buy 9 books for 9k to treat yourself? So it's like, right, okay, fine. So I had a look on Waterstones Warrington to see if they had the books in, reserved them so that I knew they would be there, and decided that that's what I was going to do the next day. So that's what I did. And I ended up going to Waterstones Warrington. I did a little bit of book shopping in there. It was a really gorgeous shop, actually. I've never been to Waterstones Warrington before, but it's a really beautiful shop. And one of the women in there actually recognised me. This has only happened to me 2 times, and both times it's been in the Waterstones, one in Wigan and one in Warrington. I was being served by the guy behind the till, and I was taking back a copy of Pole Position because the publishers sent me a copy, but I'd pre-ordered a copy and forgot to cancel it. So I was taking that back. So one of these is actually a swap for Pole Position, so I've not paid for that one. Andy sent me 20 quid. So I've not paid for like another 2. So in the end, I've only paid for a handful of these, which is great. I didn't end up spending as much money as I thought I was going to, so that's really good. But once he'd finished serving me, this lady came behind the till and she was like, hi, and I was like, hey, and I thought it was just a casual hey, and then the guy who'd served me said, oh yeah, she's just brought this book back that she'd ordered online, but she already got a copy from the publisher. She said it's really good, and I was like, yeah, it's Red, White and Royal Blue meets F1, and she was like, oh, interesting, I haven't read F1 before, and I was like, okay, cool. So then the guy was like, okay, I'm gonna leave you to have this conversation, and then she goes, do you have a YouTube channel? And I was like, yeah, I do. And she's like, oh my god, I love your videos. And I was like, bless you, thank you so much. I just never know where to put my face when this happens. So if you're watching the video, I'm so sorry I didn't get your name, but if you're watching the video and you work in Waterstones Warrington and you spoke to me the other day, thank you so much. You made my day and I truly appreciate you. So thank you so much. So there's 6 books that I then got from Waterstones Warrington. The 2 that I really wanted that I'd seen in Wigan, one of them was the Gallagher Dream Department Store by Miley. This cover is so stunning. I am obsessed with it. I know I don't really know a great deal about this one. Can you focus, please? I don't really know a great deal about this one. The cover's so pretty though, and I'm obsessed with it. It is translated and it is fiction, and I believe it's about a department store in which you can go and live out your dreams or something, or purchase your dreams. I'm not sure. I know that Gav and Jade have read this one and I think they both enjoyed it. So in a mysterious town that lies hidden in our collective subconscious, there is a quaint little store where all kinds of dreams are sold. Day and night, visitors, both human and animal, from all over the world shuffle in sleepily in their pajamas, lining up to purchase their latest adventure. Each floor in the department store sells a special kind of dream catered for each client. Meet Penny, an enthusiastic new hire, as she navigates the world within the famous Gallagher Dream department store, along with other salespeople led by the flamboyant owner, Gallagher himself. There is never a dull moment thanks to the curious, funny and strange clientele that regularly visit the store. Follow along with Penny as she uncovers the workings of this wonderfully whimsical world. Captivating story that will leave a lingering magical feeling in readers' minds. This is the first book in the best-selling duology for anyone exhausted from the reality of their daily life. The second one's coming out, I think, a little bit later on this year, but I'm really looking forward to this one. It sounds really, really cute. So this is one of the ones that I wanted to get from Wigan, but ended up putting back on the shelf. So I'm glad that I did eventually manage to get my hands on that one. The other one was this one, which is called Magical Girl Retires by Park Seolian. I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce that. I don't know why it's... There we go. It's really, really pretty. It's a hardcover. It's not too long. And underneath the dust jacket is stunning on the naked hardcover. Absolutely beautiful. Me, a magical girl. This sounded really fun, so I ended up picking it up, and it's got like illustrations in it, not too many, but it's got like little illustrations in it, and the text isn't too big, and it just sounded really cute. So a millennial turned magical girl must combat climate change and credit card debt in this whimsical and wildly imaginative ode to magical girl manga. 29, depressed and drowning in credit card debt after losing her job during the pandemic, a woman decides to end her troubles by jumping off Seoul's Mapo Bridge. But her attempt is interrupted by a girl dressed in all white. Ah Roa, the clairvoyant magical girl, is on a mission to find the greatest magical girl of all time, and our protagonist just might be that special someone. But the young woman's initial excitement turns to frustration when she learns being a magical girl in real life is much more different than how it's portrayed in stories. It isn't just destiny, it's work. Magical girls go to job fairs, join trade unions and attend classes, and for this magical girl there are no special powers and no great perks, and despite being magical she still battles with low self-esteem. Her magic wand is a credit card, which she must use to defeat a terrifying threat that is neither monster nor intergalactic war. Park Seolin reimagines classic fantasy tropes in a novel that explores real-world challenges that are both deeply personal and universal, the search for meaning and the desire to do good in a world that feels like it's ending. A fun, fast-paced and enchanting narrative that sparkles thanks to an award-winning translator, Anton Hure. A magical girl retires and reminds us that we are all magical girls and that fighting evil by moonlight and winning love by daylight can be anyone's game. It just sounds really good and fun. So I'm hoping that's the case. The cover is stunning and I couldn't just walk away from it. So, well, I did initially, but I went back for it. So I'm glad that I did. So that was my second book from Waterstones Warrington. I requested those as well, put a hold on them. And then the other one that I put a hold on as well, they didn't have this one in Wigan, but I put a hold in this one because they had it in Warrington and I've been wanting to get my hands on it since it's come out. But it is The 5-Year Lie by Serena Bowen. I love Serena Bowen and I've read a couple of her romances, male romances actually. Him and Us, that series, the hockey series, and then Top Secret, which she's done both of those by with Elle Kennedy, so I've really enjoyed both of those. This one is a romantic thriller, an erotic thriller, I think. Something's happened, I need to see you, meet me under the candelabra tree ASAP. Her heart skips a beat. The message is from Drew, the only guy she ever loved, the father of her child, the man who up and left 5 years ago without a word, the man who died shortly after in a motorcycle accident. The text upends everything she knew about the day he vanished. Only two things are clear. Everything she was told back then is a lie and someone is deceiving her today. The truth is out there and Ariel will do anything to find it, but she has no idea if it finds her first. She and her 4-year-old son will be in terrible danger. It sounds really good and I'm very interested in reading this one. It is a lot chunkier than I anticipated though, just over 400 pages. But yeah, it sounds really good. What if you got a text from the love of your life 5 years after he died? I don't want to text Steph the love of my life 5 years after he died, but sign me up to this one. If he could just not die, that would be great. So yeah, I got that one as well. And then the 3 others that I picked up in store, this one I've had my eye on for a while and I have wanted to pick up for a while, and it is My Throat, an Open Grave by Tori Bovolino. I haven't read anything from Tori Bovolino before, but I am intrigued by this one. It is I just don't know if it's going to be for me. I am worried about the writing style. We'll have to see. A deliciously creepy, haunting exploration of love, hate, and what it means to forgive yourself. That's a review. In the small town of Winston, Pennsylvania, they fear the Lord of the Wood almost as much as they fear God. According to legend, ghosts of the nearby forest steal unattended babies, leaving enigmatic tokens of wood and bone in their place. Leah Jones didn't believe the legend, thinking it was just a way to scare the local kids until her baby brother disappeared. Filled with shame and the weight of the town's judgment, Leah crosses the river into the Lord of the Wood's domain to bring her brother back. But the devilish figure who has haunted Winston for generations isn't what she expected. He tells her she can have her brother back for a price. It's a bargain that will uncover secrets her hometown has tried to keep buried for decades, and what she unearths will have her question everything she's been taught to fear. Interesting. It's not too long, 248 pages, and it sounds really good, so I'm very intrigued by this one indeed. The cover is absolutely stunning as well. I am very, very obsessed with this cover. Really pretty. So I got that one. And then I haven't read from this author before. I have another one on my shelves from this author, but this is like the third one that they've come out with. I don't have the first one. So I have Meet Me at the Lake, but I don't have the first one, which is Every Summer After. Now, I don't know if these are meant to be read in some sort of order. I'm fairly certain that Every Summer After is YA, and Meet Me at the Lake is adult, and I'm fairly certain this one is adult as well, but I actually don't know. I need to look into it a little bit more. I clearly don't know what I'm talking about, but the cover for this was stunning, and I truly didn't know what else to pick up, so I got it. And it is This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune, and I thought it would be perfect summer read for this year. So I got it. This summer they'll keep their promise. This summer they won't give in to temptation. This summer will be different. The first time Lucy and Felix met, she was on vacation in Prince Edward Island, and a tour of the beaches wasn't the only thing he showed her. But when she discovered his true identity as her best friend, Bridget's brother, their electric night should have become a distant memory. Each year with Lucy and Bridget's return for a summer escape, Lucy promises herself she won't end up in Felix's arms, but it's easier said than done. Not this year though. This year will be different. With Bridget facing the biggest crisis of her life, Lucy must join her for one last trip to the island. But Felix's sparkling eyes and flirty quips have been replaced with something new, something more, and Lucy's beginning to wonder just how safe her heart truly is. This sounds like You and Me on Vacation a little bit, but they're best friends, and this one is brother's best friend instead. So it sounds a little bit like that. Sounds right up my street. So the cover for this is stunning as well. So I did pick that one up. And then this one I hadn't heard of at all. I don't know when it came out. I just spotted it and gave it a quick read. It's actually got a couple of bookmarks in it as well. Gave it a quick read and was like, this sounds fantastic, sign me up. It's a fantasy romance, a romantasy, and it's by Kelly Andrew, the author of The Whispering Dark. I have that one on my shelves. And it is Your Blood, My Bones. This cover is stunning, and the reason why I had a quick look at this one, a seductively twisted romance about loyalty, fate, and the lengths we go to hide the darkest parts of ourselves, and the people who love those parts most of all. So I did end up with a couple of these bookmarks in my book as well. White Westlock has one plan for the farmhouse she just inherited: burn it to the ground. But during her final walkthrough of her childhood home, she makes a shocking discovery in the basement. Peter, the boy she once considered her best friend, strung up in the chains and left for dead. Excuse me? Semi-immortal Peter has suffered hundreds of ritualistic deaths on her family's property. Bound to the farm, locked in a cycle of grisly deaths and painful rebirths, there's only one way for him to break free. He needs to end the Westlock line. He needs to kill White. The spells protecting the property have begun to unravel, and dark, ancient forces gather in the nearby forest. The only way for White to repair the wards is to work with Peter, but how can she trust a boy who's sworn to destroy her? When the past turns up to haunt them in the most unexpected way, they are forced to rely on one another to survive, or else tear each other apart. Yes, please. It sounds really good. And I'm looking forward to it. It does say, your next rivals to lovers romantic obsession from the acclaimed author of TikTok sensation The Whispering Dark. Rivals to lovers, slow burn, first love, family secrets, witchy powers, dark magic, eldritch horrors, Colton and Delaney cameo. If you know, you know. Oh, maybe I need to read The Whispering Dark first then, because it sounds like they're characters from The Whispering Dark. And this version is one of them. Oh, I love it when it's one of them. Oh, and it's got parts in it as well. So yeah, I ended up picking this one up as well. Never heard of it before. Sounds fantastic, sounds right on my street. So those were the 9 books that I ended up buying. Quite happy with my purchases. I wasn't intending on buying 9 books. My patrons misled me. Misled me? Did they mislead me? They sent me down a wayward path? I don't know. It's my patrons' fault, let's face it. They also sent me a bunch of gifts as well, so shout out to them. But my June haul is not going to end up less than my May haul. I can already tell you that, and we are literally 2 weeks into June. But this is what I ended up treating myself to. I know. Naughty Steph, shouldn't have done it. It is what it is. And I also wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone that has subscribed to me. I truly appreciate it. I hope that you enjoy the content on here all of the time. I mean, I know you're not going to love everything, but I hope you enjoy it nonetheless. I hope you enjoy your time here. Thank you so much for getting me to 9k. I truly appreciate it. I wouldn't be doing this without you. So it is because of you that I am here and I am doing this, and that I love my job, which is a stark contrast to where I was at 3 years ago, 2019, 5 years ago. Wow. It's a stark contrast to where I was when I was working in my old corporate job, and I love what I do now. So thank you so much, and I couldn't do it without any of you. I truly love your support all of the time, so thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. I don't know how to say thank you enough. Thank you for helping me get to 9k. It's not about the numbers, but when you've been teetering on the edge of getting there for so long, you've been like 10 off, plus or minus 5 for like almost the last 12 months, it is a big deal. So thank you so much. I truly appreciate you all. Thanks for being here. I hope you have enjoyed this video. Chat to me in the comments down below. What was the last book that you bought, or have you know, read any of these? What should I prioritize? And I shall see you in whatever comes next. Bye for now.